Aku, I hope it is visible to you as well.
Yeah, I can see.
So, okay. So the purpose of this like quick call is to introduce you as how I was able to use Airtable and Zapier to create a tracking system that I created for onboarding the new client as well as the new contractor. I wanted to have everyone know how we can do that, so that in the future you can take this and create such kind of ATS if there's such any requirement. So I have created a Confluence page here. I'll go through each of them, and I will also um, do a quick demo so that you'll know like how it works. And then at the end, I will show you the real system that I have made. And if there is any question, we'll go through that as well at the end. Does it sound good?
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Okay. So the first thing that is before I go further, like I would like to go through some of the terminology that we will be using, and I know like most of them would be knowing uh, beforehand, but I'll still go through that because if there's some terminology which you have not heard about, that will be difficult to understand the whole thing. So if you have used Airtable, you may know that the base they is a kind of like Google spreadsheet kind of thing. You can create a table inside that. That means like a different sheet there. I'll show you quickly. So so when you come to the Airtable, you can see you can create a base which is kind of like Google Sheet, a spreadsheet, and inside that these are the tab which represent table for each of them. So to create this ATS, what you need to do is that you need to either create a new base, or if there's already a base there, you need to create a table. Okay. Now the view. What is view? So view is a different way of seeing the information in the table. So if you see here, this is a test table, and if you come to the left side, you'll have a drop down where you can create. And if you already created, you'll see the list of views there. What are the type of views? One is grid, which is the default. So it would be like in a grid form, in a Excel form. There's another one which is called form view. So you will see this, the columns in a form type. So since I've already created, let me show you that. So what will happen that if you create a form view, you will see those information here in a kind of like form where you can fill the detail. And there will be a submit button. Once you submit it, the information will be visible in this grid view here. So for this automation, we will mostly need a grid view and a form view. There's no any need of any calendar, gallery, and Kanban, anything. So I hope it's clear that what is the view here, and we are using just two view, grid view and form view.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now Zapier. I know Akwi has worked on the Zapier, but Traka, have you already ever worked on the Zapier?
No, I have not.
Okay, so it's a very useful software application, online software application, which allow you to connect two different kind of tools. For example, like you can connect Gmail with Slack, you can connect Gmail with MailChimp, and any two different softwares, if that is available inside the Zapier. So you can connect it easily. So the terminology here, what we'll be using is Zap. Zap is a kind of like automated flow work between two apps. So it's a sequence of things that will happen that you want to automate. We'll go through that, the example I will see. But just to understand, it's a kind of sequential flow workflow that happens when you try to connect two or more than two applications. Trigger is as its name suggests, it's kind of like something that starts the workflow. And action will be whatever comes under that after the trigger will be the action part. So quickly, I'll show you the Zapier as well. Okay. Okay. So I've created a demo Zap to demonstrate this automation. So it's whenever you come here in the Zapier, you just have to go on the top. There's a click button, make a Zap. It will create a Zap. And if you go there, you see the first thing is a trigger. So what should happen first that you need to define, and then whatever it happens behind that, it will be the action part. Okay, so this is the basic information that everyone needs if they want to automate and create a ATS using Airtable and Zapier. Let me go through the main process here. So to automate such kind of thing that um, the client onboarding or contractor onboarding, one of the first thing I did was I created a table in Airtable base to store the data and information. For example, like name, address, contact. Um, and then what I did was I created a field in that same table which represented an action. So if I can show you here, for example, like this is the client. So this is the table I created. There are fields which represent the information, for example, like company name. You have email address, you have the physical address, city, state, and everything. And after this data, there are some action items as well. So the action items are send MNDA, send mutual non-disclosure agreement, send MSA is another step, send statement of work, and then create a file, um, create a folder inside Google Drive, and all those actions are there. So first thing is to create a table, list down all the columns with the a data, and second is action items. One of the things that you have to make sure is that the action items have the data type as a checkbox. So if you go there, you can see it's a checkbox. So every action item should be of data type like checkbox. That is important. So once you created this one, next step will be to create multiple views in the table. So as I told earlier, there are multiple views are required. So for this, what I did was I created a database. Database is kind of like default where you can see all the information there. And so as I listed here, grid view, keep the original view as the main source. So it will have all the information. It will have all the action items listed there. You can see everything here. Next one is to create a form view. So form view is usually, mostly in all of them it will be required because you need to enter values, and mostly you like to do it with the form. In the form, not every item should be there. So you can see on the left hand side, I have removed the action items. Right, it should not be visible, so it is kept here. Some of the other columns are there where I have done some calculations, like which is calculated fill, which is not required, where input is not required directly. Everything you can keep it here, and rest of them will be a different view which represent each action item. So you can see the first action item is like say MNDA, say MSA, say SOW, create folder file. So rest other, if you go here, so the deform checklist view. So each of the different view will represent a action item. This third one here is the main checklist view. The main checklist view is a view where you can see only the checklist items. So if you onboarding checklist, so the name I have given is like what process is doing and checklist. So in this view, what will happen? It will not have any data. It will just have the action items. So what actions should be there, and it should be in sequential form. For example, like first, what we need to do whenever we are onboarding a client is that we need to send them a MNGA, and then we have to send the MSA, and then there should be like send SOW. So this should be in sequential form, and it will only in this view will only have the checklist. So action items will be there. The rest of them, now what do you have to take care of that when you are creating a view for each of the action item. For example, like send MNDA, you need to filter it. So you need to filter it and make a condition that the this view will have only those rows for which this field is true, that is like checked, right? So this would be the condition for each of them. So if you go to the MSA, everything is same, just like the filter is for send MSA, this field is true. And if you want, you can remove all the field data. You can just have a checklist here. It doesn't matter what data, but this field should be there. That you need to make sure. Similarly, you can do for everything. So I did the same thing. I'm not gonna click checklist here because it's already automated. So it will trigger a email and it will send it to some client. So I will not do that right now. So what I will do, I will quickly. Okay, so this is the Airtable part, and there's one thing that is left is about the Zap part. So in the Zap part, what you have to do is that you have to create a trigger. So in this trigger, let me show this. So in the trigger, it will ask you what application do you want. So obviously it will be Airtable because we are working with the Airtable, and the action which will happen in Airtable should trigger the this Zapier. So the action item will be a new record in view, which means that when you, for example, a new client has been added. Now you want to send a MNDA. So in the beginning, by default, it will not be checked, and whenever you want to come here and want to send a MNDA to that particular client, what we'll do, you'll check this here. Now, checking this here, what it will do, it will create a trigger, and it will make this condition true in this view. So what was the condition here? That it will only have rows where send MNDA is true, right? So that row will start appearing in that one, right? Similarly, this will happen to each of them. For example, if you selected um, send MSA, so in this view, a new row will appear as soon as this condition is true, right? And this is the trigger which we are going to use in our automation. So any trigger in the view, and then um, you'll select the Airtable, which Airtable you want to do, and you can take the actions. What should happen after that, which I'm going to demonstrate very quickly by creating a very quick demo. So what I'm going to do is here I've created a table. I've created a field here. There's two action items here, um, and there are. So there's a. Uh, so this database is like this database has every information. This form is where we'll take the input, and I've just created one checklist. Um, okay, so this checklist. So what we need to do, we have to just filter, hide all the data, just keep here the action items.
Hang on, why are you hiding everything?
So here is a button here. When you come to the Airtable, when you click it here, you will see all the field which you have created.
No, I know how. I'm asking why.
Yeah, so I told you earlier, like in this checklist, you only want to focus on the action items. If there is a data here, only two data were there. There's two field were there which had the data, but in your real-time ATS, there will be several data will be there.
So the Zap won't go through.
No. It will distract you. So usually the action item will be at the end, right? And if there are multiple fields, data fields in the front, you'll have to scroll back to there and at the end, and you have to see. Whereas the purpose of this view is just to focus on action items.
Gotcha.
Right? In the database, you'll have everything. You can refer back if you want more information. So this is just to take the action. So what I need to do, I will just create another grid view. This will be the action item. So the action item is send email. Okay. So what I need to do, I'll just hide everything here, and I will keep these two here. Now I have to add a filter. So what should be the filter? It should be send email, and what should be true? It should be true. So okay, this part is done. Now the part Airtable part is done. Now what you have to do? You have to come here. You have to create this already we have done. So these two are already done. What we need to do is to create a Zap to make this process automated. Automation to work, to make sure that this automation work. So now this process, so we came here, we created this app, we use the Airtable here, and now in the trigger thing, we now we have to select the account, which Airtable account you want to use. There are two accounts, but we're going to go with this. All right. So next one is to select the base, table, and view, as we discussed earlier. Um, so our view is in the PS onboarding base, and then select whatever the your table is that you can select that one. We are using the test. The view will select the same email view. Okay, let's continue. Next is the action item. Are you going to test it? We don't want it. We'll check it when we'll add the action item here. So the action item I'm just quickly about to show you guys. So I'm gonna use the Gmail. So what should happen is that a email should be sent. So let's quickly do that. Okay, now there are some accounts I'm using mine. So all right, let's integrate it. Okay, to whom? It's just for the test purpose. You'll have different action items when you're working the original scenario. To okay, the required subject. All right, so we have filled all the required detail here. Okay, this is first step one. Okay, so to check this one we need to have some data. So let's quickly go to here, and what we'll do, as in original real-time scenario, you'll have a form. Just give address something. Um, all right, contact number. Okay, so here you see we don't want this one, right? So what we need to do is that we need to drop it here. Okay, so this is the design view. I think we need to go into the um, original form view, so which we can share it with other people as well. So when you click on the share form, you'll get a shareable link. It's similar to what you have seen in your jot form when you were working there. So this is a public link, and it will be submitted here. You can submit the value here. Okay. Okay, contact number is still it came automatically. You will submit it now. If you come here in the database view, okay, these were automatically created. So let's quickly delete it. Okay, so you have one row. You got the value. Now what you need to do is to come into the new user checklist. Now there are two checkboxes are there. So all right, now we need to pull the information because now there is information in the table. Okay, so as a user, what usually you'll do is that you'll come here and you'll mark check whenever you feel like, okay, the email should be sent now, right? When you check it here, a trigger will happen, and you'll see that a trigger came here. Okay, now we just have to complete this thing. We already provide every information, and one main part I'll show it here. Interesting thing is that you can pull the information, whatever information was submitted here. So you can see all this information out there, right? You can select anything. You can continue. Okay, send email. Okay, finish this thing. Now let's see if the email was received.
How do you filter through all your tabs?
What is that?
Nothing.
Okay.
I think you sent it to Sync Prakash.
Yeah, I have the alias, so I mean, I'll get that. Okay, so let's see if it came to. Should have come, but let's change the email address just to make sure. You can give multiple. Let's see. So retest this thing. Okay, let's open my personal email. Okay, so you can see that email has been received, and you can set the subject as per your requirement. But yeah, this is how it will work. Okay, now is there any question?
No, I don't have any right now. I think I'll obviously have to try my own.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the action item. I want both of you to work on a simple such kind of application there, and yeah, let me know when you are done.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to be able to do that today.
Not today, but tomorrow or whenever you get it. Like maybe tomorrow at the end of the.
Okay.
Yeah, it's to be as simple as possible, but yeah, I want to make sure that you guys have understood everything.
Yeah.
And when you get the recording of this, could you send it to us as well?
Yeah, it will be there. I don't know if you guys have the
Actually, no, I think I have
access.
Yeah, I think I'll get
on Confluence or
it's in the Anant.codex.
okay.
The information
when I get the email, I'll send it to you, Tanaka.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm going to add this link. This video I will attach in the conference, and the conference page has all these steps already given there.
Perfect.
You see here, right? I'm gonna add that video link as well. But most of the things are here, and also feel free to give any feedback here if you find something not clear or something lacking here. Just let me know. I'll update this as well. This link I will share with you. Okay.
All right, PK.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining this call.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.